already stopped. Oh, hold on. Okay, I think the coast is clear and the dogs should be quiet. So I've got it recording, so that way anybody that couldn't come tonight, then they can listen to the recording. So what's your first question, Jen?
So I'm just wondering, how do I know for sure, how do I find who publishes the information on the site?
All right, well, let's look at your site. Let me get this down. So which website are we looking for?
Up to date.
Just put like that, uptodate.com?
Yeah.
All right, so we want to know who's writing this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if it's, it could be anybody, then might not be good. So let's see here. Up-to-date advanced features. CNEs. We want something that says like about them. Did you find a place that said about this thing? Content.
Yeah, it talks about like the authors and stuff. So is that just who? Is it all these professional physicians and?
Where does it say about the authors?
Go to Why Up to Date.
Okay.
And just click on that and.
Answers fast.
And then go to Evidence and Experience, I think.
Okay.
I think that's right.
Our rigorous editorial process. More than 6,700 physician authors, so these doctors write it, editors, and then they peer review it. So that's telling me that doctors are writing this, or physicians. Peer-reviewed content. Each topic is assigned an author, a subject matter expert, and at least 2 separate physician reviewers. So I would put some of this information. So that's telling me that they've got physicians who are subject matter experts, and then they've got 2 more of those that review it. So they do peer review of it.
Okay.
So here's one of Dr. Gordon who coined the term evidence-based medicine, makes 6 to 7 minutes. Well, that's just like an advertisement there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just read by, unbiased, accepts no advertising, or did you find that already?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you're all over it. Yeah, so I think that's about what we've got. We're not seeing actual names unless you look at some of the content. You might see names, but it looks...
Okay, I didn't know if I needed like specific... Okay.
No, you need like titles or credentials, especially some websites where you just get a name, but are they nurses? Are they doctors? Are they specialists in those fields? Like if you're looking at a diabetes topic, are these diabetes experts? So you found what you're looking for right here.
Perfect. Okay.
Did you find a privacy policy?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Then what's your next question?
Okay, so these are probably really dumb questions, and I'm probably making this way too hard on myself, but describe how facts, studies, and original sources are cited, or how readers can verify information.
All right.
Like, do you want me to, like, specifically figure out, like, the type of citations they're using, or what?
No.
What does
So isn't that the one where you can look at the contact us? How can you verify what you've read? Can you call these people? Can you talk to them? And are the articles that they put on here, do they have citations and references? So if you wanted to, you could go look at those original documents and verify the information.
Okay.
That's what you want to do. Because when you get to researching things, and maybe you're in practice and you're really having a problem with a different procedure, and you want to look at what's out there, and you see some information on one of these websites, but you want to get right to the source, to the primary person, then you want to be able to see who wrote the original stuff that this person's talking about. And if I can't find it, is there a site on this website that I could call? Is there a phone number, an address, some way for me to get a hold of these people?
Okay, that makes more sense. I'm obviously making this way too hard.
Well, it's your first time at analyzing these things. A lot of times in the past, I mean, if it's on the internet, we use it, but we can't do that because we want to make sure the patients are getting the right information.
Yeah, well, I've really learned a lot from this, actually. Like, I really like your list that you guys put together of scholarly sources that we can use and ones we can't. Like, that's really been
that will help.
Very, very helpful.
Okay.
And then one more question. So we're supposed to we're supposed to support our decision of what we decide with scholarly literature. So there's in Up to Date, there is some different topics in there that are from like different places, and people have done like studies to show that Up to Date is a good site, and that like it shows how many people use it and rely on it. And there's one that shows that it has how much it has improved patient outcome. Can I use those?
Well, no, those aren't exactly what you're looking for, because the whole assignment here is to analyze websites, more than just this one. So if you're in the lecture, we talk about how you can verify that a website is actually scholarly, and there's some sources in there. And I know Jay Lee found a couple more articles. She got out and looked for articles about how to analyze websites to make sure they're valid and scholarly. So things like that, because if you're going to tell me what a reason why you feel this is a scholarly site, perhaps you're up in here and you're talking about, like you just did, you went through and found out who's writing this content, right? The credentials, and you've got all that up here. So how does that information ensure the website should be used by nurses to inform practice? How do you know it's valid and scholarly? And you're talking all about these doctors and it's peer reviewed and all this. Well, there should be an article out there that says, well, one way you can know if it's scholarly is if it's written by experts in the field or something like that. So then cite that article. I can tell you it's scholarly because I analyzed it, and this article says if you analyze this, it's more scholarly. And even like domains, there might be an article out there that talks about if it's a .gov or a .org, it's more scholarly than maybe a .com or something like that. So that's what you want, at least 2 of those articles. I mean, you could talk about those things when you're making your case for why it's scholarly, but you're accepting hearsay from those other people. You want to analyze it yourself, so the article should be support your analysis.
Okay. That makes more sense. Perfect. Okay.
And you know, if you find some articles and somebody else finds some articles, share your articles with each other.
Okay. Perfect.
Anybody else have any more questions about the assignment?
I've got it.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
You want to do a cover page too, and then a separate reference page?
No. In fact, isn't there a column on here for references?
Yeah, there is. So just fill out the table. That's it.
Just fill out the table.
Okay. Perfect.
And I know you're not going to be able to probably get these darn in that with a hanging indent, so let's not panic about hanging indents. But do use your APA that you learned last week and your citations. You've got to have your citations up in there somewhere, and then have matching references in your reference section. And put those references, if you got 2 or more, put them in alphabetical order. It doesn't mean you take the group's name. So if it's a Johnson, Morris, and Amber, that's the last name, Amber, You don't put the Amber up front and say Amber and those other two, because Amber is getting credit for a lot more work than she did, or he.
Yeah.
And the other guy's going to be angry. But what it means is if you have 3 different articles, and one article's written by Hine and one's written by Johnson, well, H is going to come first in the little list, and then Johnson's going to come next.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Okay, Heather, did you have a question?
I do. I have a couple of questions for you.
Go for it.
Thank you. Let me just get on the right page. Okay. So I was going to do, this was confusing to me, and I've been researching it, but government websites don't always have an author or the public. I'm confused. First of all, let's just go to.
Let's go to your.
So I have on both of those. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which site are you using? Give me the URL.
Let me pull up. I was going to go to Medline Plus.
Medlineplus.com.
Yeah, haven't really gotten that far. Yeah, medlineplus.gov.
Oh, .gov.
So it's a government. So that's the tricky part to me. So Medline Plus, because Medline Plus is under. Hang on, I got to get to it. Medline Plus is under
National Library.
Yes. Yeah, then so it starts with the Department of Health, and then it's like the National Library of Medicine, and then the NIH, and there's like, at what point do you stop and say, okay, this is the publisher? Do you have to go all the way to the top and say the Department of Health is the publisher, or do you go, like, you know what I mean? They're under each other, so I'm confused on how far.
All right, so what you've just told me now is probably what you're going to put in that first box as to how you found this thing finally online. You went to all these different places, and now you type into medlineplus.gov, right?
So medlineplus.gov is the website that I was going to use, or right?
So then look at the bottom here. It says it's the U.S. National Library of Medicine, Rockford in Bethesda, Maryland.
Right.
That's from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Right.
National Institutes. So who is the real owner, right? Who's the real one?
Yeah.
I would just list all of these.
Really?
Because if it's all government, right, it's all together, USA.gov, they're all having something to do with this.
Well, they're all like the top, like as I was just saying, it just is a cascade. You know, you've got the government, and then you've got the Department of Health.
Right, but let's put up at the top here.
The library is the NLM is under that, or the NIH, and then the NLM, and then the NLM has PubMed, Medline Plus. It has all these other sites under that. So I am so lost on who publishes and who do I list as a publisher and who do I list as an author.
Okay, the authors are different. So right now, it looks like the people who are sponsoring this and paying for this is the U.S. government, right? The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services through the United
Yes, through tax dollars. I read that. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go.
Tax dollars is, I think, what Tennille and I were looking at it, because she was also looking at one, and we were looking at them together. But I think through tax dollars, we read that's how it's paid all this, the library.
Okay, so I clicked on About Medline Plus, and it says that Medline Plus is the National Institute of Health's website for patients. So it belongs to the National Institute of Health, which probably in the government is all backed up by all those others. But it's directly related to the National Institute of Health's website.
Okay, but isn't that under the National Institute and the NIH?
Yes, this is the NIH. National Institute of Health is the NIH.
But then the NLM the National Library of Medicine,
right?
Which is under. I thought the Library of Medicine is under the NIH.
No,
Medline is under NIH.
Yeah, this is the first one, NIH. Then it goes to the Library of Medicine, and then it comes here. But
okay,
it's talking about it here, so that's where it's going to go back to the budget of the National Institute of Health, and they're going to budget out so much for the library, and then this is part of the library, something they're offering through that Library of Medicine.
Okay, so the sponsor, the one who's paying it, is going to be the National Library. Sorry, is the NIH.
The National Institute of Health has probably got the budget from the government, and part of their National Institute of Health is to have a library of medical information, and their library is one of these. It's just like Eagle Gate College has a budget, and they gave some money to have an online library, right? So part of their budget goes to this online library, and then we've got to divide it up between LIRN, Ovid, all these other.
Okay, I got you.
So I would just back it up and show, and then you found the part about it's being paid by by tax dollars through the government, right? They're not advertising on here for actual products and things.
Nope.
Okay, then that's who's sponsoring it. Now, as far as who's writing this information, right?
The author and the publisher, those are the other. Is it same or is it, well, it wouldn't be the same.
And find out who's writing it. Well, no, because somebody's writing it. And if it's medical information, I want to know, is it a doctor? Is it a nurse? Who's writing it? Scientist? So there should be something on here where we can actually go and find more about who's writing this information.
Well, there's an editor listed right there.
Okay, where's that at?
You have to back up. It's not the about.
Okay.
Go back to maybe health topics. No.
How about
somewhere on their main page? I think the home page. It'll show on the right hand side. Possibly, maybe that was the NLM, but it shows like the author, the editor, not the author, the editor.
I think it would be under here somewhere. Subscribe, follow us, disclaimers, copyright, privacy, accessibility, quality guidelines. Developers? No, that's for developers.
Maybe I was thinking of the NLM, the National Library of Medicine, is who I was thinking that listed, but it gets so it seems so murky because it's just.
Okay, well here, look under the quality guidelines. If they're telling me that their information is high quality, then they better have some information in here. Here's the quality, authority, and accuracy of the content. So read through this. Here's the purpose of that web page.
Right.
So who's doing it? Who's writing? Database of clinical research studies conducted by the National Institute of Health and many other institutions worldwide. We provide you a database, full text, drugs, supplements.
Right.
In addition, it contains, and so it's giving the information. So it's coming from institutions from the National Institutes of Health.
All right.
So you just have to keep snooping back further and see who's writing this stuff.
And so we want, or what you need on there is you want actual. Well, if we refer to an article, specific article, then we need the author. But if it's just a general policy or something like that, then we can refer to the website, but not.
You're only really referring to this website throughout the whole thing. When you're bringing in scholarly literature to support your statements, that isn't from the website. Those are from articles that tell you how to analyze scholarly websites.
Right.
Like from the lecture. So here,
and I do have
you're not going to be citing this Medline Plus throughout your paper, because I know you're writing about Medline Plus. You're going to say that in the part, and it's not one of your references because it's just the website you're analyzing.
That's true.
So if what you're looking for here is credentials and authority, so they're saying it's these institutions and things, but I mean, we'd like to know, are these doctors? Are these specialists?
Yeah.
Are these people? And if you can't find out, then it's kind of like, well, who's really writing it? And it kind of puts it in your mind, well, I don't know if I really want to use that if I can't see that it's a doctor or a nurse or a specialist. But you may be able to find it. You may be able to find more in here.
Okay. But so that would cover sponsor. So the author would be,
let me get to that.
Well, we're not looking for the author, we're looking.
Let's go back up here. So when we talk about credentials or authority, this is where we want to know who's writing it, who publishes it. You're going to say who's publishing it, and you talk about those institutions. Access and describe the qualifications. Are they doctors? Are they nurses? Are they scientists?
Right.
Try to find some of that information. There should be a link about who's writing this. And how does the information ensure that the website's scholarly? So that part is, you would say here, these are physicians, or these are scientists, and they're writing information about health, or if they're writing information about drugs, are they pharmacists? Are they doctors?
Right.
Who work with it? So you would just say those kind of things, and then that's how you're knowing that it's going to be scholarly information. And then if you have an article that says, a website's scholarly if it's written by experts in the field of study or something, then you might say an article by John Smith said, or Smith 2019 said, information written by experts in the field is more scholarly. Boom.
Okay. So the publisher different?
Where's the publisher part?
Where does it say who publishes it? I thought there was something in there. We need that?
I think you're looking for the sponsor. Okay, so that's an objectivity. So I don't mean the object of it. I mean, is it objective or is it biased? Okay, so who is sponsoring this site? You said the government, right? So you're going to have to talk about that. Some sites are actually sponsored by drug companies, and some are by businesses, and some are by publishing houses. You want to talk about that. And here yours is a .gov, and why is that important? And you might have an article that talks about .gov and these ones being more scholarly. What's their advertising policy? Do they allow any advertising on that site?
I don't think so. Well,
look and see if they have an advertising policy.
There is. I've seen an advertising policy it was a different drug. Anyway, one that Tennille was looking at, and they did have advertising, and I said, wait, I don't think it can have advertising. But then we read of this, what is their policy? And they did actually have a policy on it. So that is acceptable, right? If they have a policy that says to have advertisers, as long as they have a policy that doesn't, the site isn't biased towards the advertisers.
Right, correct. So if I've got doctor writing me articles about drugs and things, are they pushing the drugs that are being advertised by that company?
Right.
So you want to read that policy on advertising and what they mean by that. And if it's, if they're accepting money from them for advertising on their site, and that's going to help pay for their site, then they might be a little biased.
Right.
You just want to look it over.
Okay. All right. I've monopolized your time.
You're doing fine.
I don't know if there's other people that have questions, but I do have one other thing that is not directly related to this.
Okay.
Can you clarify the attendance policy between attendance and discussions? Like, it's not one and the same. And how does attendance,
all right,
is attendance taken just by the fact that you've done discussions during the time frame that you're supposed to, and then responded during that time frame?
All right. So here, they're totally separate. You are absolutely right.
Okay.
Discussions are graded items. And having to be in by Wednesday is going to be 5 points, right? You did that, and then all those other things. That has nothing to do with attendance. Attendance is just like you walking into the classroom and sitting down, and the teacher says, you're here, and they check you off, right? Well, you have to show that you are present in these classes to get attendance for being here, to get those credits, right? You have 3 credit class. You have to be showing us you're doing the work and things. So we take attendance twice a week. We'll take the first attendance on Thursday morning, which would count for anything you have physically done in the class Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Now, you can't just show up and read things. You have to have posted in any of the discussions, or you have to have done a quiz or done an assignment, turned something in, turned in your who knew it's, done something. And I'll look and I'll see if you've done anything. So if you did something on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, I'm going to mark you present on Thursday morning because you did something. And you did great, because if you have to be in by Wednesday to post to get those 5 points, I'm pretty much going to get attendance for everybody come Thursday morning. Then I'm going to do attendance again Monday morning, and that's going to count for anything you did on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And that works out good because most assignments are due by Sunday night, and most attendance are due by Sunday night. So usually everybody gets attendance because you've come in and done your stuff on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Then you came back on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and did your other stuff, because you have to be in the grids twice in a week, right? You have to be here. So that's how we do attendance. And it doesn't have anything to do with your grade. It's just attendance. The only time it impacts your grade is if you are absent more than 50% of the time. And that could happen. Say you do all your work on Monday and then Tuesday. There's your 2 days. And you're never here on the other half, and you're going to end up missing half of your attendance. And if you get over 50% attendance or absence, you get an F.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So discussions is not the same as
attendance.
The other.
No. Discussions are an assignment.
Right. That was my understanding too. I just had a conversation with someone, so I was just making that clear.
Attendance is separate. Attendance counts for all assignments and everything you do. Discussions are and those assignments.
It's a way to break up the attendance, or you being in class basically between the full week, instead of just doing everything on 1 or 2 days.
You can do everything on 2 days, but I would spread it out so that you get attendance in that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday section, and you get attendance in the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday part. Especially
you can't post your replies until after. So, you couldn't actually
replies anytime you want. Some students come in on Monday and read some things people have written and get excited about something and post a reply. And then they'll come back another day maybe that day and put their answer to the discussion question. But since they have to be in on another day, then they've got to come back another day and respond to something else later in the week.
Right. It doesn't count for the second attendance, the second part of the attendance for the second part of the week.
Not if you've done everything during Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday time. I can't give you credit for being there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday unless you're really there.
Right. Okay. Got that. Totally clear.
Good question. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Anybody else got a question? Nicole? Sam? You guys got a question? You're on mute.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, Nicole. We recorded, Jen had some good questions and Heather had some questions, so that's been recorded in case you need them. Sam, you got anything you want to know?
No, I just wanted to state that as far as the publishing goes, who publishes on the website, it's actually in the second box under credentials and authority.
There, yeah.
As far as the information that Heather was talking about.
Oh, okay. Yep. So it says, who publishes the information?
There we go. I knew I saw it somewhere.
Okay, I do have one little question.
Okay.
If I'm looking for the publisher, at the bottom of my website, it has a few different things, but then it does have one area as far as like a copyright goes.
Okay, so which website?
I am on mayoclinic.org.
MayoClinic.org. Dun, dun, dun. Does it look like this?
Yes.
All right, so I'm sliding to the bottom.
Okay.
All right, so find a doctor, find a patient, staff.
So down at the very, very bottom, it has, if you keep going down a little bit more.
I'm all the way. So Mayo Foundation.
So I've been able to find information as, yes. So it's a Mayo Foundation right there for medical education and research, correct?
Mayo Foundation for Medical Education and Research, all right reserved. They're the ones that have copyrighted this.
So would they be considered the publisher?
Well, we'd have to find out. We'd have to snoop around a little bit.
Because I've looked at all sorts of places on there, everywhere as far as the website goes, and I can't find exactly who publishes it. I can find who writes their information, where they get it from, what their background has to be, but I can't find specifically where it states who's published it.
Publishing it. I've run into the same thing.
Who's paying for this site? Is the Mayo Clinic paying for the site, that foundation?
So Mayo Clinic is a not-for, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. They're a not-for-profit site, and so I think most of their funding comes from people donating it or sponsoring them.
Okay, and it should say that somewhere on this site. So obviously the Mayo Clinic is paying for this site or publishing this site. And here I would put the Mayo Foundation for Medical Education and Research, because if they've got all rights reserved for this entire site and all this information, it's theirs. But what's
that's what I thought. I just wanted to double check. So
right, because what you don't want to see is all of a sudden it's owned by some drug company or something.
Yes, exactly. Okay, perfect. Yeah, no, everything through them is through the Mayo Clinic. So perfect. I think that was my only question as of right now.
Okay, and then you found out who's writing this stuff and who's paying for it. The Mayo Clinic, you said it has donations and things. There should be information about that on here.
Yes.
You think they'd be...
I've been able to find.
I see an advertisement. Do they have an advertising policy, right?
Yes, yep, I've already looked into that. I've got all the information on that. Yep, they're pretty particular on any of their advertising and sponsorship as to who it is and what it's for.
Okay, so it's not swaying there.
No, it's not. No, there's no bias. Yes, it's, and it's pretty much only health and medical related.
Okay. Did you find any good articles that you're going to use that talk about how to analyze a scholarly website?
And I haven't found anything yet. Has anyone else that's on here right now found any good ones on that?
I haven't even looked yet.
Okay.
OWL, Purdue University, OWL, they've got a thing on, it talks a lot about the APA. Okay. There's another one that I found.
Okay, I'll tell you right now, be careful with the Purdue OWL's APA.
Oh, yeah?
Because sometimes they don't use 6th edition still. But is there a place you can search this site?
Search which one?
Purdue OWL. You said they might have something about how to do a scholarly...
I just went out of it.
I'll choose.
I don't
know if a website is credible.
I also I found out, well, I just Googled it and found patientsrising.org about 5 reliable sources of medical information. I looked for scholarly, I think I typed in scholarly information on medical, something like that. But, and they listed they go through different things and the reasons why they chose them. Medline Plus, Daily Med, Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins, but
you may also, there might be some things in the actual lecture. You can use some of the materials from there. But then I was going to check here under LARN. Where is it? Health and medical.
So, Dr. Hine, would you say that most major universities would, like, I've found that a lot of universities have their own sort of writing center, and then they have tips and tools or just that kind of a thing, kind of a support for students, but they have it up online. And so, would you say that most of them would be current on the APA guidelines?
I wouldn't trust anybody except my APA manual.
Then how do we find
a human being had to type that in there, and hopefully they've got it all up on the 6th edition, and the 7th edition will be coming soon, but it's just easier just to use your manual and then tab a few pages, because you're pretty much going to always use the same type of things, right? You're going to use articles, you're going to use textbooks, you're going to use electronic articles and things. So I would just keep those handy and always start with first, who's my author, what's the date it was written, what's the title of the article, what's the name of the publication, and then put it together, because it's really going to get easier, because once you know that this is pretty much how those look, and if you've got more than a bunch of different author numbers of authors and things, I always run over to page 177.
Over to where?
Page 177, because it tells me how to cite.
Yep. Okay.
I'm going to go to the lecture for week 4, right? My gosh, flying by. There's my Boolean operators. Where's my analysis here? Scholarly databases. How to analyze the scholarly ones. So Heba, Hunter, and Czar, that would be a good one to look at. And this one, the libraries edit out. This one here that walks you through how to tell if it's scholarly. You could probably cite them.
Okay.
So just find either articles or any kind of information that tells you, and right here it's kind of telling you how to analyze it. So that's what you want. You just want a couple articles about how to analyze it. Julie Orr, is she in your class at all that you know of? She found a couple, so you might want to hit her up.
Who? Jen?
Jaylee Orr.
She's not in our class, but I know who she is.
Okay, she's from your college, I think. But
she's in our cohort.
And share with each other. If you find a really good article that's nice and current that talks about how to analyze things, post, share.
Dr. Hine?
Yeah.
This is Sam. Hey guys, if you guys just do a search on, like if you get the LRN and you use Academic One.
Okay, let's go back.
It's
pages. LARN. Let me get in. Okay, what do you want me to click on?
Yeah, just Academic One file right at the top. It's under automotive aviation, but it covers everything. Yeah, if you look at it, it has medicine, it has
everything.
Physical science.
Wow.
Yeah, it basically has everything. This is.
Wow, it's taking a load. There it is. Okay, so what do you want me to put in the search?
So, like, even if you just do like scholarly analysts, or and it will, and then you can break it down by websites and stuff. Like if it's for websites, and online content, it brings up quite a bit, and it actually has articles that, like, I'm looking at one that brings up just how to validate it, where you cross-reference, you check for knowledge management and the publications, the references, how like soon they are, or recent rather.
All right, well, I'm trying to open it, but for some reason it's going ballistic. It just keeps spinning. Okay. And it's still spinning up at the top, so it won't let me search. But you can put in there like how to analyze scholarly websites or something.
Yeah, you could just put like scholarly analyst or something.
Analysis.
Analysis.
Well, yeah, analysis.
It won't let me in. Okay, this one doesn't like me, but you guys would get the drift. Get in here and type it.
Yeah, if you just put analysis in, scholarly analysis, it will bring up a lot. And it will bring up websites. It will bring up peer-reviewed. It will bring up.
It's going crazy. All right.
Thank you, Sam. That helps.
That does help. Thanks.
Sorry, no matches. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Articles on scholarly literature. Okay, so
you might have to use a different little your Berlin words and stuff to find out where you can actually get some sources. I mean, you only popped up 3, and that's
not good. So analysis of websites. How's that? Analysis of literature. Websites belonging to public universities. Website analysis. Medication of websites. Website analysis. Oh, this one looks good, but that's on specific topics. An analysis of court website disclosures. The transparency of county websites. A content analysis. So there's different things in there. You can choose full text. You can maybe get it down even further.
So that was Academic One file?
Yeah, because Academic One is actually, I mean, you guys know it's a database, but it runs off quite a few, and it like intertwines like a EBSCOhost and a couple others that it involves.
Okay.
But it's pretty intense on what it has in it.
Nice, thank you.
Very comprehensive, it looks like.
Yeah, it really is. It's kind of, I don't know if you guys remember the old like Searchlight one that they used to use a lot, but
I thought there was one on here for actual academics and things, but I don't see it.
Yeah, like if you click on those, a lot of the ones will cover the same things. Like if you go like general, Academic One is at the top. There's quite a bit.
Research library.
Yeah, because those are just the search engines. Whether you're using Eric's, Academic One, EBSCOhost, they all kind of seem like they just give you a search engines that have that type of stuff in there. It's more generalized, I guess.
Play around with that.
Yeah, I thought maybe in the research library, but like you said, link analysis, structure analysis, a scoring tool for websites. Look at this, a scoring tool for websites. That might be good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Wow.
That's just like this.
That's a pot of gold right there.
Woohoo! All right.
Yeah, it will.
Well, if you guys find any good ones, you might want to just post them in the thread and say, hey, if everybody's looking, I found some really good resources for analyzing websites.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Great. Okay. Any other questions or anything?
No, thank you. This has been helpful.
Good. Okay. Well, I know it's due this weekend, so y'all be working on it. Tomorrow, we've had a death in the family, so I'll be tied up most of the day. But if you email me or leave me a message, I'll get back to you tomorrow evening, and then I'm home all day Sunday.
I have a question.
Okay, Sam.
It's Super Bowl Sunday. You think we could extend the deadline to Monday?
No. You know what I would say about that, because I'm a teacher, I would have said Super Bowl on your to-do list and then time managed around it. Because you want to be done with your assignment before it starts.
I probably will leave it.
Good.
Just credit, we'll see.
Nice.
It was worth the price, Sam. Good job.
Trying to be a team player.
No pun intended.
All right.
All right.
I'll talk to all you guys later. Let me know if you have
Thank you. You guys have a good weekend.
Alrighty, bye.
Thanks. Appreciate it.